Hello. Hi everybody. Welcome to the Fat Inflamed to Fit and Fabulous training tonight. I'm just going to chill here for a minute, see if we get anyone jumping on live, and then I will take it away. So, how's everyone's Thursday been so far? Day's gone fast, I reckon. So basically, what the training is going to be around tonight is my journey. My journey as a woman who has struggled with her weight her entire life. And what I mean by that is more about my attitude to my weight as opposed to actually physically having a huge weight problem, because that wasn't where it started. It wasn't that I was unhappy. It wasn't that I was overweight and then I became unhappy with my weight as a result, and then I started, to go down that road. The key thing to point out in this situation is that my weight was perfectly fine. It was all about my perception of my body weight, and that's what led me down a really dangerous path. So hello to the people that are jumping on. Hey Georgie, hey Linda, hey Robin. Not going to linger around here at the start waiting for people to jump on for too long, because we just want to get straight in. Hey, and whoa, I kicked this thing. Sorry. Get straight in and share this stuff with you, because I am very passionate, as I have expressed a few times, because I really, upon reflection of where I was at that point in my life, it was a pretty ugly place. And I know so many women can relate with it. So hi to everyone that's jumping on. G'day, Alana. So first and foremost, I want you guys to interact as much as possible. So what I mean by that is I would love for you to ask questions, and I want this to be a practical training that you guys are going to walk away with, like actual key things that you can implement and key takeaways, even like shifts in your mindset. So I'd love you to go and grab a pen and paper if there's something nearby, because it's going to be really powerful. I'm going to be asking you lots of questions. Hey Sarah, hey Lucinda, hey Julie. Cool to see everyone jumping on. If you haven't got anything handy, go grab a pen, go grab a drink of water and a paper, because I'm going to ask you some key questions that I want you to start answering. Okay? Awesome. So I'm sure a lot of you that are jumping on do know me either personally, or you've been clients of mine through clinic, or you've been following me for a little while. Hey Bronnie. So I won't go into too much detail about my history, my background, but I am a naturopath nutritionist. I specialize in hormones because of my own hormone journey. That's why I chose to really represent that area and specialize in that area. But as far as my health journey goes from a weight loss point of view, it was about age 15, 16, I hated my body. And I think the key thing is I think so many women can relate to that. I don't know what it is that happens. It's, we can blame it on the media, we can blame it on puberty, we can blame it on hormonal changes, we can blame it on, age where we start getting interested in men, males, teenage boys. and for whatever reason, I decided that, my body wasn't good enough. Okay, and so that's where I really spiraled down a dangerous thing. So young Halo doesn't like to go to bed early. So you joining us for the training, are you, darling? You're beautiful. So basically, the biggest thing that I want this training to be around is our shifting our mindset, okay? Because the reality is we are a nation where we are not shy of information, okay? You have got so much information at your fingertips. You can Google anything. I mean, you can jump online and for free get yourself probably a 21-day eating plan that, if you chose to follow to, would potentially work. Like, we have so much access to free access to, mind you, free access to food and health and diet and weight loss. I mean, and that's the beauty of the internet in this day and age. Like, we have so much information. So why is it that we're not implementing it? Okay, so that's the biggest thing. So if you're someone who's sitting there and going, well, I'm unhappy with my weight, I want to lose 5 kilos, I maybe only want to lose 2 kilos, maybe you've got more to lose, it doesn't really matter what the number is. First and foremost, well, why haven't you lost the weight yet? Or why haven't you started a process or an eating plan or a diet to already shift that, okay? And that's the big thing that I want to focus on, because there's a million eating plans out there. I mean, you could jump on and do meal replacement shake programs, I mean, there's cleansers, there's detoxes, there's literally hundreds of diets. And if you're someone that's given any thought or any energy to your weight at all, then you know they're all out there. There's a million and one different diets out there. So why have you not implemented them, and why have they not worked for you, okay? So first and foremost, the first question I want to ask you guys, so hopefully you got your pen and paper, is that's my notes, darling, I need you to leave that. She's taking off with my notes. First and foremost, what's your relationship with food? What's your relationship with your body? Okay, so write down, if I would actually write down, how do you feel about your body? Write whatever comes to your mind. And it could be quite harsh. You know, I feel fat, I feel ugly, I feel uncomfortable. You know, I feel uncomfortable with my clothing. It doesn't matter what the answer is, but write it down. And even if it's just dot points, I want you to start formulating, because this is how we help you shift your mindset down the track, okay? Next question that I want you to write down and answer. What's your relationship to food? Okay? Do you love eating? Is it fun? Is it enjoyable? Is it like, well, I can't be bothered cooking, so I go for takeaway food? Is it I love the taste of sugary, salty things? Is it that I'm craving that? Are you someone that eats food when you're bored, or when you're had a fight with your partner, or when you're sad or stressed at work? It doesn't matter. Like, what is your relationship with food? Take yourself a few minutes and sort of ask yourself, well, do I eat purely out of boredom? Do I forget about food altogether? I only actually eat when I'm hungry? Are you someone that skips meals really regularly? Like, what is your relationship with food? My relationship with food was really volatile. I obsessed over food, and I obsessed over healthy food. I was the sort of person that I never ever left the house without, back in the day, a can of tuna. I don't eat meat now, by the way, but a can of tuna and an apple or a protein bar. Like, I would never ever leave the house without them, because I would actually panic at the thought of, well, what if I can't buy healthy food? And that's to say I didn't eat junk food, because I ate plenty of junk food, but it was like I had this obsession of, I had to have healthy food on hand, because I had this big thing about being hungry. I hated the feeling of being hungry. Was very uncomfortable for me. And so I've done years and years of journaling around these thoughts. So what's your relationship? What's going on for you? Okay? And because food was on my mind all day, every single day, because I was so obsessed with not being hungry, and I was so obsessed with the type of food, okay? Because I didn't ever want to be in a position where there was nothing else to eat and I was hungry, so I'd be forced to eat something that was unhealthy. And especially growing up in a small country town, we didn't have access to healthy food. I mean, your standard takeaway shops in the areas were like a bakery, you know, or deep fried takeaway food, like fish and chips. That was all you could really buy. I mean, in this day and age, especially now living on the Sunshine Coast, I can buy something healthy wherever I go. But, you know, it was very different back then as well. So that definitely started that pattern of being stressing about, well, what is it that I can eat and what can't I eat, and do I have something on hand, okay? But the moment I ate something, while I was chewing it, before I'd swallowed it, before I'd finished the meal, it was always like, well, how many calories was that? How much do I have to burn? How much exercise do I have to do as a result? And especially if I was like, oh, stuff it, I'm going to eat something naughty, you know, then the guilt that would set in, that I'd feel, oh my God, I'm going to get fat from this, okay, I'll have to exercise twice tomorrow. It was just constant, all day, every day. So you can imagine it was like torture. I would never ever just relax or felt comfortable around eating, because always thinking, you know, if say if you're going out for dinner with friends or family or whatever it was, driving there the whole time, what am I going to order tonight? Don't order pasta, like that's bad. Don't order pasta, just get fish and salad. Like begging yourself, don't do it. And then you get in front of the menu, you're like, oh, stuff it, I just want to have the chicken parma and the chips. And so I'd eat it, but there's no way I enjoyed one mouthful of it, because I was already condemned myself because I didn't order the fish and salad, or I didn't even order the salad. I was like, oh, you know, eating it, feeling disgusting about myself the whole time, feeling guilty about eating it, and then afterwards going to bed feeling full and disgusting, because that was the energy I put on the meal. When you're stressing and having negative thoughts and vibrations around what you're eating, you're not going to digest your food properly. You're going to feel heavy. And that's the big first point that I want to talk about, is our mindset and our attitude. Now, I'm not going to go into the science of this in great detail, because that's not my forte. I've been studying this stuff for quite a few years now, so I do know it and I understand it pretty well myself. But we're looking at the science behind our thoughts creating our reality, okay? And so why is it that someone can sit down to a bowl of fish and chips and feel nothing after it, and then go on with their day, whereas the other person could feel really heavy and really full? Yes, from a physical point of view, you know, we could go down the road of saying, well, that person's gallbladder's obviously not working properly and they couldn't digest the fat and so they felt terrible, or this person's digestive system's just underactive. Yes, absolutely, that plays a part in it, but our emotional thoughts and beliefs will always trump the physical. And some of this stuff that I'm going to say tonight may trigger you guys a little bit because it's moving away from your traditional mainstream science. But this stuff that I'm going to share, big guy that I want you to look into is Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he's incredible. And I have the pleasure of going to his 7-day retreat next week, so I'm really excited about that. The thing about it is, hey Tegan, how you doing? And that's awesome. And Tegan's just acknowledging that she can completely resonate, and so many people can. That obsessive thought constantly, there's never any relaxation around, I'm just going to eat and that's it. It's like that thought process before it, during it, and after. It becomes mental torture. So Dr. Joe Dispenza, he's a chiropractic doctor, but he's actually studied the science behind our thoughts creating our reality. And it's a simple breakdown, and this is not exactly right, you know, but basically whenever we're thinking a thought, we're stimulating the release of neurotransmitters, okay, which are then basically influencing the release of different hormones, which then those hormones then have an effect on different proteins that we release. The different proteins will basically have an effect on the type of DNA that we produce, okay? So if you're thinking, oh my God, I'm sick, I'm going to get breast cancer, my mum got breast cancer, so I'm probably going to get breast cancer, and thinking that thought all day, every day, you know what? Your body starts to create breast cancer, okay? And this has been proven. There is so much science behind it. And a classic example, we've all heard of the placebo effect. This is something the medical industry actually does acknowledge, okay? And all scientific research that's done around like medications and drugs and pharmaceuticals, they give one controlled group the placebo, which is nothing but a sugar pill, and they give the other group the actual pharmaceutical drug, and the other group might be something else and whatever. And they've proven that things change in the placebo group. And what I mean by that, if you're not sure what I mean by a placebo group, it's just a sugar pill, but the person taking it doesn't actually realize it's nothing but a sugar pill. They're told, oh, we're going to trial this new drug on you and see what effect it has on you. So they think that they're taking a drug, and most of the time it has an effect on the body, whether it be a negative side effect or a positive side effect. It's the person's thought that produces that reality. So this is what I want to teach you guys tonight around your diet and your weight, okay? Our mindset is everything, okay? So if you're sitting down to a meal and going, oh my God, I shouldn't be eating this, it's so bad for me, I'm going to feel terrible, guarantee you that is what is going to happen. And that's exactly what happened to me as a 15-year-old, 16-year-old. I was not overweight. There was no one part of me that was overweight, but for whatever reason I started thinking I was fat. By the time I was 20, 21, 22, 23, the weight, a couple of kilos every year, until I got to a point where I was 13 kilos heavier than what I am now. The weight I am now is the weight that I was when I was in high school. And so 13 kilos on, just kept creeping on. Never dramatically actually there was one period I put 8 kilos on quite dramatically, but you know, it's generally quite, you know, kilo at a time each year, 2 kilos, you know, so it was just gradually creeping up because I'm telling myself every single day, oh my God, you're fat, you're fat, you're fat, you're fat. So what do you think I created? And then, of course, you could go down the road of saying, well, your lifestyle at that point in your life was very different as well. Yes, I was drinking a lot of alcohol, but there's plenty of people that drink alcohol and don't put on weight. It's an accumulation of our lifestyle, yes. But like I'm saying, the emotional side of things, our belief system always trumps the physical. And another classic example, you see people that smoke cigarettes their entire life and then die in their 90s peacefully in their sleep. Then why do some people get lung cancer when they're 20s or their 30s, okay? It's so, and yes, we can argue genetics, absolutely, but the reality is that's been disproven. Dr. Bruce Lipton, he's proven epigenetics, which is about our environment influencing our genes. So that goes back to that whole breast cancer story as well. Like, you know, well, my mum's mum had breast cancer, my mum had breast cancer, I'm going to get it because I've got the same genes. Well, no, that's not true, because we have the ability to influence our genes and turn genes on and off based on the environment. And what I mean by that is our diet, our thought processes, our beliefs, the amount of stress in our lives, the amount of toxicity we're exposed to. If they're exactly the same as what your mum was exposed to and your mum's mum, then sure, you're going to get breast cancer as well. But you have the ability to change that by our thoughts and our beliefs and the way we live our life. And so that's why, you know, a big part of the Balance Babes mission is about educating people to take care of their body and be in charge of their health and influence it. And it's exactly the same with your weight. So, Next question I want you guys to write down or think about is, have you tried a diet in the past that either A, you haven't stuck to, or B, your body just hasn't responded to? And what was your energy, what was your thought process to dieting? So when I say right now, okay, we're going to all go on a diet, and we're all going to restrict our calories, we're going to clean eat for whatever, what's the first thought process that comes into your mind? Is it, oh, I'm not going to be able to stick to it? Or, oh, I don't know how to cook, it'll be too hard, or I don't have time to do that. Think of the resistances right now. What are the resistances that pop into your mind that are stopping you? Because like I said, anyone could go on a diet if we had the motivation to follow through. Absolutely anyone. So why don't you potentially have the motivation, or why haven't you even started? Maybe you've started a diet, maybe you haven't even got around to starting one. What's the thought process that pops into your head? Too busy, I don't have time, I hate eating healthy food. You know, what are the stories? So write them down and add these to your notes, okay? Really, really important. For us to change a belief system, we have to first know exactly what is that subconscious belief. Now, when we talk about the subconscious versus the conscious mind is what we're thinking, first thing that pops into our head, or that, you know, you're consciously aware of. Our subconscious programs and patterns are laid down, and they're the things that are running on autopilot. So I think, for example, you're driving home from work and your mind's elsewhere because you think about what's happening in the day, you think about what you've got to do when you get home. I've got to cook dinner, and I've got to put the kids to bed, or I've got to do whatever. And you find you're just driving the car on autopilot almost. And you sort of get home like, oh, I didn't even remember going through those traffic lights, whatever. You're unconsciously aware of your environment. You're giving way to other cars, you're stopping at stop signs and traffic lights and doing all the right things because your body's almost driving on autopilot. But your conscious mind was elsewhere. Your conscious mind was thinking about other things. It's exactly the same if we're looking at your health, your belief about your body. You might think, oh yeah, my weight's okay. I'm happy enough with my weight. I look fine. But if subconsciously you were conditioned to believe that the perfect weight is only size 8 because that's what you saw, could have been family members, things you saw on the TV, teachers, friends, mum. It doesn't necessarily have to be just our immediate family, although they're the people we spend our most time with. You know, what did you model? What did you see? What were you looking at? What books were you reading? All these things, and they're going in subconsciously, because when we're age 0 to 7, that's where we're forming the foundations of our beliefs and our values and how we view the world, okay? And when you're in those years, 0 to 7, we're operating in a different brainwave pattern than what we do as an adult, okay? It's quite a slower brainwave so that we can actually take in and process even more information, because in those early years in our life, we have so much more we have to do. We have to learn how to walk, we have to learn how to feed ourselves, we have to learn how to talk. You know, we're learning at an incredible rate from ages 0 to 7. So our brainwave is slowed down so we can basically take in and process a whole lot more information. And a lot of it goes in and it stores itself in. And like I said, that is the foundation for how you see the world for the rest of your life, okay? And this is where techniques are very, very vital. Things like the emotional freedom technique, tapping, timeline therapy, NLP practitioners, stuff like that. And I'm going to run you through a few techniques tonight to get in and reprogram that subconscious mind. And that's a lot of the work that Dr. Joe Dispenza does. So I encourage you guys to get on and start checking out some of his free YouTube videos, because they're absolutely incredible, and they're going to teach you how to reprogram this mind. And he uses meditation as a primary goal. Now, the reason that we use things like meditation, journaling, that sort of stuff, because in that moment when we're connecting in, we're focusing on our meditation, we're stealing the environment, we're stopping those conscious thoughts that are controlling, and we're able to tune in and connect more easily with those subconscious beliefs and get an idea. Now, when I take you through some exercise in a minute where we're talking about, we're trying to identify these subconscious beliefs, your higher self knows the answer to absolutely everything that your body needs and your body wants in order to get well, in order to lose weight. Whatever your block is that you're struggling to get over, okay? You have the answer within you. But because we're so busy in our day-to-day lives and we've got this conscious mind going on and on and on, round and round and round, 100 million miles an hour, we can't tune in. And that's when we become disconnected from our body. That's when we start making decisions that don't serve us. We start choosing career paths that aren't actually true to ourselves. We start hanging out with people that aren't true to ourselves. We stay in relationships that aren't serving us. We let people take advantage of us or treat us like crap. You know, we start eating food that isn't actually good for us at a soul level because we're so disconnected from our source. And when we're disconnected, it's another reflection of being what can I say, not loving ourselves, not respecting ourselves, not honoring ourselves. We're completely out of sync with our body. We're out of tune with our body. And so that's why we start making these decisions that are completely out of alignment. We lose sight of our goals and our values, and we don't actually know what is our truth. We start becoming very easily influenced by people around us, be it our peers at school, our friends, our partners, our parents, whatever it is. We start just sort of following along what everyone else is doing. And that's when you fall in the traps of jumping from, well, I might just do this stuff because that person did it and they got heaps of result, but then you don't fully commit because it's not actually right for you. Like, for an example, say you're someone that's never been a big meat eater and you don't like eating meat, but you read about this really cool Atkins diet or the keto diet or some kind of low carb diet, and it's all about eating lots of meat. And so you force yourself to start eating meat because, well, it says that it's going to lose weight, it'll probably work for me, and that person did it and they got the results, so I'm going to do it. But if it feels out of alignment for you, it's not going to work. And that's when we start making decisions that don't work for us. So mindset is absolutely everything. And so I want to show you the first step in order to changing your mindset is, first things first, we need to know where we're coming from. We need the awareness around that self-sabotage pattern, that limiting belief that has you every time you wake in the morning saying, today's a new day, I want to start my diet today, but then come 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you're going for that bag of lollies or you're going for that chocolate. Because that was me. I woke up every single morning of my life for that probably 12-year period and was like, okay, today I'm going to eat perfect. I'm going to have nothing but salad and veggies all day. Of course, I know I was out of alignment. I was living life out of alignment because I wasn't on my true path for whatever reasons, and a whole lot of things. And so I was looking to fill my cup, fill my heart, nurture myself, and my method was food. A lot of people, and that's how addictions form. People go for alcohol, people go for cigarettes, people go for, people are addicted to sex, shopping, all these things. They're trying to make themselves feel better because at that core level, you're out of alignment. You're not in tune with yourself, you're unhappy, you're living a life that's not true to you, you're miserable, okay? And that's why we go for things. So my thing was food. So it didn't matter how much I consciously told myself, today's going to be a different day, I'm going to eat better, I'm going to exercise 2 times, I'm going to do 2 hours of exercise instead of an hour, and all these things. I would still get to a point where my subconscious program, my core belief was, you're fat and ugly, why bother? So of course I'd get to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I was bored at work because I hated my job. Or maybe I was stressed about a boy, or I was stressed about money, or I had something going on. So to feel better, my subconscious mind was, just eat some chocolate, you'll feel better. Chocolate loves you. You don't love yourself, but chocolate loves you. So I would go for the chocolate, and the first few bites you'd love it, and then instantly you're like, I'm shit, I can't stick to a diet, how pathetic am I? I told myself I would, but you keep eating, and that becomes that punishment. Started feeling sick halfway through the block, but you just keep going, well, I've stuffed my diet now, who cares, I'm useless, I'm pathetic, I'll just keep eating chocolate. So how many people can relate to that kind of self-sabotage thing there as well? It's really, really common. And like I said, for some people it's alcohol, for some people it's retail therapy. It doesn't matter what it is. But that was my method of punishment, and that's where it all stemmed from. So I'd finish work and I'd be feeling crap, so I'd force myself to go to the gym after work, and I would exercise because I'd felt guilty about the fact. Now, I've never had a typical eating disorder, so where some people do, binge themselves on chocolate and then go potentially make themselves be sick to get rid of it because they felt so disgusting. That was something that I never did that. I considered it a couple of times, but I couldn't physically bring myself to do it. It just wasn't my thing. But you can see how people develop eating disorders, right? Because they feel so disgusting about themselves. There's so much self-loathing. Then they compound the negative beliefs they already had about themselves by beating themselves up about the choices they've just made. I'm terrible, oh God, you're pathetic, you can't even stick to a diet for 1 day. All that mind chatter just goes on, and that's our ego, okay? That's our ego, because the thing is, the ego isn't necessarily a baddie. Your ego is actually there to keep you safe. Now, if I developed this program as a child between ages 0 to 7, for whatever reason, I'm not even really consciously aware, I've done a lot of clearing stuff around it, but that made me feel fat, that I felt fat. And I was a very fat baby, very, very fat baby. I remember, it's funny, we can laugh about it now, it's funny, but I remember my mum took me to the doctors for one of my checkups, and they're actually really quite concerned. They were worried I was too fat because I was putting on so much weight so quickly. So it was a running joke in my family. And my nickname's Pudding, for those who know me. And that's something that I've always loved. But and this is not blaming anyone, because it was always done out of a place of love. But from a 0 to 7-year-old who's being told, oh, you're so fat, you're so cute, I love you, you're gorgeous, and being told it from a loving point of view. So my subconscious belief was, well, it's good to be fat. That means I'm lovable because I know that my family, my friends and other people who I'm exposed to as a child are telling me I'm cute and they love me and I'm fat. So my ego believes that that's actually a safe place to be. I'm loved that way. Okay, then of course you grow up and you get to age 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 and I'm going, hold on, I don't like the way I look, but I believe that I have to be fat. It's like two different forces walking against each other. My subconscious mind saying, no, stay fat, that's a good thing. That's great that people love you when you're fat, that's amazing. But then my conscious mind is kind of like, I feel uncomfortable with this weight. I don't want to feel like this. So you can see, it doesn't matter how much willpower you try, it doesn't matter how motivated you try, you can wake up every morning and tell yourself, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to start the diet. But if your subconscious programming says, no, it's actually safe to be fat, no diet is ever going to work for you. No eating plan is ever going to be stick to. And there's the exceptions. And of course there were periods in my life where I could go 2 weeks on a diet and I would lose a couple of kilos. But do you think I ever sustained that or kept that weight on? Because I'd always fall back into that subconscious belief, because 90% of our choices and the things we say and do on a daily basis are coming from that subconscious belief, okay? Only something like 10%, or it's even actually a lot less, affects out the choices we make on a day-to-day basis. So you can see the power of the subconscious mind is absolutely incredible. So this is why diets do not work, okay? Now people get to points in their life where they can start to shift that stuff. And like I said, meditation, timeline therapy, journaling, all these beautiful therapies to clear us and just reprogram our minds. But, you can stay on that treadmill of, oh my crap, I can't stick to a diet. This is terrible. What am I doing? And you just feel worse and worse yourself to the point you just completely spiral out of control because two forces working against each other. So the power of the mind is incredible. So to give you some tips now, like I said, the first step to healing any of this is to start to become aware of what is potentially the subconscious program that you're running. Sometimes you are already consciously aware of it because you've had this program running for 10, 15 years and it's been coming through, like you have dreams about it. You might go see special healers who will give you snippets, clairvoyance or whatever. Friends, you pick up these things. Sometimes you are aware, but after you have the awareness, that's when you can work from that place. So for anyone right there who isn't actually sure of potentially where their subconscious program patterning comes from, because most of you won't, because it's very deep, I want to invite you to start journaling or meditation. And firstly, when I say both of those things, what's the resistance that comes up to that, okay? Does your ego straight away go, no, that's a waste of time, it doesn't work, or no, I've tried meditating, I just can't silence my mind, or journaling's crap, it doesn't work for me, or I don't have time to. What is the excuse now that's straight up? What's the resistance? And write it down, okay? Because we need to start breaking down where are your biggest demons, so to speak. Where are the things that are going to trip you up, that are going to stop you from succeeding on your diet? So write those down. So yeah, if you don't have the awareness, and this is where it's great to employ people if you're open to these sorts of things and go and see people that can give you advice. And there's heaps of cool tools as well, like whether you believe in this stuff or not, like using things like your angel therapy cards and your tarot cards. Your higher self knows the answers. You don't have to go and pay someone to tell you about what's going on with you. You can. There's therapists and there's amazing people who can help you with it, but you don't have to. You actually have the answer. And if you can tune into yourself, find yourself a quiet place without distractions, start journaling. Journaling is far easier than meditation, in my opinion, for me personally, okay? I was running that story about meditation for years. I just can't stop my brain. I can't slow my mind down. I'm too busy, okay? So, of course, that was the story I was telling myself. So do you think I ever had any success with meditation? No. Journaling, on the other hand, I would just start writing, well, I hate my body because, and then I did this, and you will be surprised. Thoughts pop into your mind. Things people said to you in primary school randomly pop into your mind. You're writing them all out. Your higher self starts bringing them through. When you get yourself in a space where you stop the distraction, you tune in, and you just start, and if you don't know how to start the journaling, you simply write a question. What do I need to know today to help me shift through this? What was it that's got me feeling this way? You can't do it wrong. You ask yourself a question and then you let the words just flow and you start writing and you go round and round and round. And any emotion that comes up through that process, feel it, go with it. Just be like, okay, wow, I feel crap and I feel like crying. Cry, go for it. It's amazing. If you can get to a point where you feel like releasing, you might be feeling really angry and start blaming someone and talking about that stuff, it's all perfect. It's all exactly what needs to come through. So it's a really, really powerful process. once you have the awareness of the subconscious belief that no longer serves you, you have to make a conscious decision to go, I don't want to run this story anymore. Sure, this was my story for the first 15, 20, 30 years of my life, but I choose something different now, okay? And you have to really consciously go, and you know what? There are going to be times in your life where you're not actually ready to change your mind, to change that choice. If you're in a really, really stressful part of your life, to consciously choose to break a pattern that your ego is telling you is safe for you, and then step out of your comfort zone and start thinking differently and acting differently and choosing differently yourself, your ego will come with every excuse under the sun to say, no, don't do that, you can't do it, you're not good enough, you whatever, and you won't be able to. And so if you have a lot of stress in your life, if you're in a place of uncertainty in your life, it may be the wrong time for you to do that, okay? And that's when I say, well, start breaking down the stresses. How can we change the stress in your life? What things do you have control of? Where can you start reducing your workload? Where can you just start with a bit of self-love so you're not hating on yourself as much? Where can you go and see a therapist or whatever? Where can you get help with something on other things in terms of practitioners, okay? There's lots of ways around that. But if you are truly in a place where you're ready to make a choice and make a different decision to yourself, you have to have a really, really clear, what do I choose instead? And I've learned a lot of this stuff through my amazing mentor, Alicia Abley. And if you don't have a clear thing of what you choose instead, because most of the time, well, it's just like, well, I choose not to be fat. Well, no. What does that actually look like for you? Okay? I actually choose to lose 5 kilos, or I choose to lose 10 kilos or 12 kilos, whatever it is for you. I choose to feel comfortable in my clothing. Write it out. Dot point. I choose to feel sexy. I choose to feel great about someone, a male checking me out. I choose to have more energy. I choose to enjoy wearing short skirts all of a sudden. And I want to feel confident. I'm going to feel more love for myself. Break it down in every element, how it's going to be physically, how it's going to feel emotionally, how it's going to look overall in your life, how it's going to change your life, okay? Because if you don't have that mapped out really, really clearly, you're just going to stay in that subconscious pattern, because it's running on autopilot, remember. So unless there's something clear and new and different that your body has to go to, it will not happen, okay? And that's a really, really, really important thing that you need to know, okay? And that's crucial. Now, those 3 things that I just mapped out, identifying the awareness, making the decision, and then what do I choose instead, it's actually really simple. Like, don't overcomplicate this. It doesn't have to be hard. You know, you might think, well, I've had this, eating disorder, I've been overweight for 10, 15 years, I think it's going to happen in a couple of weeks of journaling. Well, you know what? Give yourself permission to shift that quickly, because it is possible that it can shift that quickly, okay? So that's the thing all in the mindset. I hope that's been really, really helpful. I'm going to move on to just a couple of physical things, because these are the 3 key things that I personally changed into my life, and that was why I gradually lost the 13 kilos over probably a 1.5 to 2 year span max. I lost the 13 kilos. And the first thing that I did and I started doing, and it was implementing enemas, okay? So straight up, I know that's going to create a lot of resistance for a lot of people, because you're going to go, oh, that's gross, I can't do that. Oh, no, that's weird. Look at it now, write it down. What's the resistance that comes up, okay? Because I'm not just mentioning enemas and coffee enemas for a bit of, shits and giggles, a bit of fun, because it's some creepy, weird fetish that I have. There's science behind it. It actually works. Now, I lost 4 kilos that was actually probably the last 4 kilos that I lost. I'd already lost the original, 9 kilos or something. I lost the remaining 4 kilos to get to the weight that I am now. Purely the only thing that I changed was coffee enemas. I implemented them. And it was a gradual process. I did nothing else. I didn't change my diet. I didn't change my exercise. Nothing else. I implemented those. And the reason it works is because when you start doing coffee enemas, it stimulates your liver to start metabolizing. You start releasing a lot more toxins. You cannot burn fat if you have a toxic colon and a toxic liver. Sorry, Halo wants me. What's going on, darling? Yep, I can do that. Just opening some puzzles. So basically, it's the same deal. So if you, and that's fine. You don't have to do coffee enemas. There's 1,000,001 ways to detoxify your body. You can go and see a colonic hydrotherapist, and that's an amazing thing to do as well. But you can do enemas at home over a 15-20 minute, half an hour period by the time from start to finish. Doesn't cost you anything once you've brought your kit. Very, very cheap. You can do them at home. I personally do about 5 enemas a week. They're not all coffee. I do 2 or 3 coffee. I do at least 1 turmeric, and then I'll do sometimes plain water, or depending on what's going on. Say if I've eaten bad that day and I feel like I'm a bit irritated, I might do a chamomile tea, or I might do an aloe vera juice. You know, there's lots of different ways you can do. But this is the thing. Look now, what is the resistance? Okay? Oh, that's just disgusting. I'm not doing that. Was it? Okay, well, why? Why is it disgusting? Okay, so the thing you've got to keep in mind is remembering, before modern day medicine came in, like pharmaceuticals and drugs, enemas was one of the primary methods of healing the body. Okay, so it's been around for a long, long time. It's been proven that it works. Okay, so ask yourself, if where you are right now with your weight, if it's serving you, if you love your body, if you're happy, sure, keep doing what you're doing. But if you want to make a change to your body, you need to make a change in your lifestyle. And it starts with going, well, what am I resisting? Why am I so anti something that clearly works and is proven? Now, like I said, I'm not forcing you and saying that the only way you're going to lose weight from here now is to start doing enemas. But it's about breaking down the mindset and rewiring our brain, okay? Why are you so against it? And look at that, okay? And then we start looking at that resistance behind that, okay? Next thing that I did, the third thing that I did, is actually exercise. And believe it or not, it was actually, I dramatically reduced the amount of exercise that I was doing, okay? And this is all comes down because of the energy around why I was exercising and when I was exercising. I purely only ever exercised to lose weight. I never exercised because it was good for my body, because it made me feel good, because we get that natural endorphin high, because it was a social thing with friends. I only ever exercised with the intention as I want to burn fat. Okay, I did it to punish myself. I did it because I felt guilty about what I had eaten that afternoon. Okay, I did it because I hated my body. So you can imagine the energy that I was coming from. It wasn't I'm loving my body, I'm nourishing my body, I'm doing something for my body to move my body and stimulate my circulation and stimulate the immune system and get the blood pumping, which is all really health beneficial, beautiful things, a beautiful gift that you can do for your body. Mine was doing it from a place of punishment. So of course my body resisted. It was like, you're treating me like shit, you know. And this is also, you know, I was, you know, especially in my 20s, when I was out partying till 2, 3 a.m. in 4 nights a week, even on work days. So I would go out till 1 o'clock in the morning to watch a live band with my friends. You know, sometimes I'd be drinking, sometimes I wouldn't. But I'd be out, and it didn't matter what time I rolled home that morning. I still had my alarm clock set for 6 a.m. every single morning to go for a run on the beach before work, because it was such a deep conditioning that if I didn't exercise, I'd get even fatter. Do you know what I mean? Like, so you can imagine the energy that was around that. There was no way that my body was ever going to respond to exercise. I never, ever, ever lost weight on exercise. I only ever kept gradually putting on weight, 1 kilo at a time, year by year. You know, sometimes 2 kilos, sometimes 3 kilos. And that's the thing. So what is your energy behind your exercise? Do you do it because you love it? Do you do it because you feel good after doing it? Do you do it because you're seeing it as a beautiful gift for your body? Ask yourself, write it down. What is the energy? What is the intention behind exercise? Okay? Do you drag yourself to the gym because you feel you have to, because you feel guilty if you won't? Or do you go because it's a nice new thing to catch up with friends or make yourself feel good? If you don't get clear on the energy behind why you're exercising, it's not going to have those beneficial results on your body. Okay? Because again, power of the mind. Okay? The mind saying you're going to exercise just to punish yourself, well, it's going to have a punishing effect on the body, in that it's going to deplete your adrenaline, which is what happened to me. I ended up with adrenal exhaustion. It's going to rob your body of just vitamins and minerals. You know, it's going to age you more rapidly. Whereas if you're doing exercise from a place of, this is feeling good, I'm doing this to nurture my body and help my body because I love my body and I choose to do this for my body, you're going to get the benefits. You're going to get the anti-aging benefits. You're going to get the immune boosting effects, okay? You see the complete different energy, all right? So the final tip that I want to share with you guys tonight is around your eating habits, okay? Because I'm such a big advocate that diets don't work. Now, yes, there are times when I'll put clients on diets because that's what they're calling for, and I can first pinpoint where is their head at, what is the goal that they're wanting for it, are they capable of doing this, and I'm always working on their mindset as well. But what I want to give you tonight is like 4 key things that you can implement in your day-to-day diet that is going to help you to improve your body's health, and as a result, improve your weight loss. But like I said, your body is not going to respond to any physical dietary things, if your mindset is in the wrong place, if you don't truly believe that it is safe to lose weight, if you don't truly believe you have the motivation to stick to a diet, if you don't believe that you can lose weight, okay? And that's where that first process all around the mindset is so incredibly important, okay? So eating habits. So these are the 4 classic things that I recommend to people. First things first, don't eat before 10 a.m., okay? Now, first thing first, what comes up? Oh my God, I'd be starving. I can't. I'm starving as soon as I wake up. Why? Well, that's what we need to look at, because why are you starving as soon as you wake up? Okay, it means that you potentially have some blood sugar stuff going on. You potentially got some liver stuff going on, and also potentially the way you structured your eating and your calorie intake the day before was potentially all wrong as well, because we are designed to be able to fast. Okay, I'm just going to check this comment. Missed one of your 3 physical points. Okay, cool. I'll run over them, a summary at the end, darling. So basically, if you haven't eaten enough calories over the day before, you're going to wake up starving. Okay, so this is where eating enough calories is important as well. But we should be able to fast. We have the physiological mechanisms to help us to fast, okay? And it's beneficial to fast, because when you're fasting, as in not eating and drinking water, your body's actually healing and repairing itself. So there's a lot of research that actually says you shouldn't even eat till 12 o'clock, because we're in this, our body clock works in stages where basically from, I think it's about, what is it? So it's 8 p.m. at night or 7 p.m. at night through to about 3 in the morning. We're in regeneration phase. So that's when we should primarily be sleeping, okay? Sleeping and resting. Our body that's when we thrive best of sleeping. From, say, that next stage through is when we're basically cleansing and cleansing and eliminating. So you want to get up, you want to move your bowels, you want to urinate, you want to get out and go for an exercise and move things through your body and flush. We want to sweat things out. That's the best possible time to be doing those things. Then from 12 o'clock to 8 p.m. at night, that's we're in our build-up phase. That's when we need to consume the bulk of our calories, okay? So that's when you start eating. So a lot of people, and there's this, you would have heard of intermittent fasting as one of the crazes of diets, and there's a lot of research behind that. I will warn, it's not good for you if you have a lot of adrenal stress, because that's when your body can't fast, because you're in such adrenal stress that your body's in panic mode. So your body's like, I need calories, because I need calories for my brain to think, so we can do the whole fight and flight thing, so we can send glycogen and glycogen to our muscles, so we can run really fast away from like this predator, because that's that fight and flight. We're in that stress, we're in that reactive mode, we're in that defensive mode, okay? So they're the 3 body systems. So ideally, so the next point is, don't eat till at least 10 a.m, go to 12 if you can, okay? It's not about starving yourself, okay? Yes, potentially in the first few weeks, you may feel like I'm hungry, and you can retrain your brain, because that hunger might be a bit of a habit, and you can retrain yourself to not eat. And it's different. If you're getting up at 5 a.m, you're probably going to want to eat by 10 a.m. If you're not getting up till 8 a.m, well, maybe you can go through to 12. So work on it around based on your lifestyle. But yeah, really, really important. So you want to get up, not eat, but you want to drink minimum 1 liter of water in the first hour to 2 hours that you're awake. So that doesn't matter what time you wake. If you wake up at 5, by 7 a.m, you need to have drunk a liter of water. If you're waking up at 8, by 10 a.m, you need to have drunk a liter of water. And a lot of people straight away go, oh my God, like a liter of water that early, that's so much, I can't do that. Well, actually, it's not really. It's 4 glasses, okay? First thing I do when I wake up, I get up and I go to the kitchen and I scull a glass of water. 250 mils, it's easy. Walk to the toilet, urinate, do whatever, come back, go back to the kitchen, have another glass of water, okay? Then go about your morning, you start getting ready for work, jump in the shower, whatever it is that you're doing, another glass of water. So I drink a liter of water within the first 45 minutes that I'm awake, and it's actually easy, and it's just a habit, okay? It helps me flush the toxins out. It will stimulate your metabolism for the day. I do not believe in putting lemon in our water. I know that's a highly publicized, everyone says start your morning day with lemon, it'll cleanse your body. Do not do it, okay? The reason is because lemon is highly, highly acidic. And people say, no, lemon is alkalizing, it has an alkalizing effect on your body. That is not true. Lemon is very acidic, and when you have a whole lot of lemon and you're drinking that, and it has that acidic effect on your body and your pancreas in particular is forced to release all these buffering enzymes to counteract for the acidic effect the lemon has had on your body. So in turn, we create an alkaline environment because of what your body has to do in order to buffer the acidity of the lemon juice. So if you're doing that so through like cleanse period, so say if you're on a detox period, sure, have the lemon juice every morning for that short duration of time. If you're doing it every single day, you are going to dramatically deplete your body, deplete your digestive system over the year. We have so many people that are bloated after all their meals because they've rapidly depleted their enzymes because of doing stuff like that for a long period of time, okay? So warm water, if you like it, 100% non-negotiable, you must be drinking filtered water. If you're just drinking town water, you're drinking so many toxins every single day, which is contributing to your toxicity in your colon, which is contributing to your sluggish liver, which is contributing to body fat being deposited around your body because we hold toxins in our body fat, okay? So if you've got a really toxic body, your body's going to protect its vital organs by getting the toxins away from them and storing them in body fat. So if you're toxic, your body's going to go, well, I'm not going to lose that fat because I actually need that. It's serving a purpose. It's actually keeping my heart and my brain and my organs safe, okay? So detoxing is a huge element of weight loss. Okay, so that's the first thing. Don't eat till 10 a.m., potentially 12. Drink a litre of water within the first hour to 2 hours max of waking up. The third thing is meat. Okay, so you need to work out whether you're a meat eater or you're not a meat eater. Because if you're someone that's designed to eat meat and absorb the nutrition out and break it down, you will thrive from eating meat, and that is totally okay. And this is traditionally the blood type O's, okay? I am a massive believer that we overconsume meat. I think even if you're a blood type O and you thrive off meat, no one should be eating more than one serving of meat per day. I personally don't eat any meat at all, and since I cut meat out of my diet, I've been able to maintain this body shape and body weight that I am. I'm a blood type A, which means traditionally blood type A's do not produce as much stomach acid as what blood type O's do, for example. Okay, so it's I don't absorb and break down meat properly. So yeah, sure, maybe there's lots of protein in meat, maybe there's lots of iron in meat compared to your green leafy spinaches, but it's no good to me if I can't actually absorb it, okay? So meat was not serving me a purpose. It was making me heavy and congested through my digestive system. I had a toxic colon like anyone else who's a blood type A and is eating meat. It is not good for people who are blood type A. So you need to work out, and look, that's a general rule, the blood types. Only you can work out yourself, do I thrive from meat? Do I feel good from it? Or do I feel terrible? Now you do need to be wary, so you might want to put yourself on a little experiment where you go, well, I'm going to go without meat for 2 weeks and see what happens. That's not going to work, because if you go without meat for 2 weeks and you've always eaten meat, you're going to detox in those first 2 weeks. You're going to feel crap. Your body's going to go, woohoo, I've got no meat, less pressure on my liver, I'm going to start detoxing you through chemicals. And you may get headaches, you may feel really tired, you might get sore muscles. So that's not your cue to go, oh, see, my body needs meat, I feel better. Then of course you start eating meat, you completely stop the detoxification in its tracks, and you go back to feeling the way you were feeling. So it has to be a longer, slow process of testing that meat process. Okay? Blood type A, B, for example, blood type B, there's an app that you can get, it's called Eat Right for Your Type. There's a book written by Dr. Peter Adamo. You can download the app on your phone, it'll cost you about $5. So you can look up your blood type and look at the foods that are serving for you. So I'm a big advocate of the blood type diet. I think that anyone can thrive without eating meat, even if you are a blood type O. I don't think you have to eat meat if you're a blood type O, but there's other elements to it as well. Now, the fourth and final one is just 100% non-negotiable. Don't do it. Don't do diet shakes. Don't do diet protein bars. Don't do diet foods. Don't do diet low-fat yogurts. Don't do diet soft drinks. Don't do any diet low-sugar, sugar-free foods. They are so toxic. They are so nutritionally depleted. And when you're putting foods constantly in your body that have no nutritional value, it stimulates your body to go into a stress state. Because when we eat calories, your body expects to get nutrition as well. But when you're eating things that are nutritionless, like protein shakes, for example, that are just protein powder, and then they've got all these fortified vitamins and minerals in them, and artificial sweeteners and stuff like that. If you're not getting the nutrition, you're only getting the calories, over time, it's going to send your body into a state of stress. And this is one of the reasons why I'm not a fan of your shake diets and stuff like that. There's a time and a place for them, definitely. But as a general rule, don't go there. And if you're going to go there, make sure you're at the very least using a plant-based protein, not a concentrated, processed, toxic whey protein, okay? Whole nother story we're not going to get into at this point. So, protein bars are another big one. Full of artificial sweeteners, fortified with all your vitamins and minerals. Synthetic vitamins, it's like shoving a square plug in a round hole. It's not going to do the job, okay? Your body knows the difference between eating an apple that's full of natural vitamins versus eating a vitamin pill, even for example, or a protein bar that's got fortified vitamins in it. Completely different how it has affected your body. Right then and there, sure, it's going to fill the hole. You're not going to feel hungry anymore, and you may lose weight in the short term from diet things. But is there anyone who's, used diet protein shakes and protein bars and all those things their whole life, and it worked amazing initially, but now you're not getting the same results because your body is now gone, oh, this is actually bad for me. I'm going to trigger a stress response. And when we're triggering a stress response from a hormonal point of view, we are producing more of our stress chemicals, which lead to inflammation and lead to weight gain. So you can see you're working against yourself, okay? So yeah, diet shakes, low-fat sugar, like low-fat milk, for example. You're changing the natural component. I'm not a fan of drinking milk in general, but let's just look at milk, for example. Naturally high in fats and naturally high in lactose, which is a sugar, okay? That's the natural component of the milk. The milk is supposed to be that way. The reason the milk's supposed to be high in fat and high in this lactose is because it's for calves. Calves that need a shitload of calories to grow into big cows, okay? Another valid reason why we shouldn't be drinking milk, it's for baby cows, it's not for humans, okay? The composition of milk is perfect for baby cows to put on weight and grow rapidly, okay? So then humans have come along and go, well, let's have that. That's good for us. It's got heaps of calcium in it, which is bullshit. But the composition's completely out. And we go, oh, it's too much fat. Let's just take the fat out of it and take the sugar out of it and make lactose-free milk and make, fat-free milk. You're drinking something that's now completely nutritionally depleted of the benefits of what it was there. It's just only the benefits were never for you. Okay, so you see that? It's like yogurt. I eat low-fat yogurt. Well, often the sugar's quite high, but it's not the sugar that puts weight on. It's our artificial sweeteners, which won't put weight on right then and there on the spot, but it puts weight on overall down the track because your brain goes, oh, I've just received a hit of calories. I need to get nutrition. The nutrition's not there. Oh shit, the nutrition's not there. We'll go into panic mode. I'll start producing stress chemicals. I'll start putting on weight. So does that make sense how that process works? Throwing my ice away as I listen. Oh, sorry, Jess. But no, look. Protein powders, again, we're taking a whole natural food and isolating one macronutrient and concentrating it and taking it in unhealthy, unnormal levels. Your body was not designed to break down 20 or 30 grams of protein at once like that, okay? And that's why protein shakes don't work. Because sure, they work in the short term. Okay, I get that. There's a lot of programs out there where people lose a lot of weight in the short term, but they're not sustainable in the long run because where that protein comes from a milk source. So if you look at the concentrated amount of protein that's come from that whey, like that milk that they've got it from, you're looking at litres and litres and litres of milk to get that one scoop of condensed protein powder. You're taking it in proportion amounts, okay? Our body's not designed to do that. Our body is designed to have real whole foods in their entirety, okay? And this is why we don't isolate things. It doesn't work in the long term. It confuses our body. It leads to disease. It leads to acidity. It leads to mucus congestion. It leads to cysts in the body. Concentrated protein powders are not good for your health. Like, I'm so firm on this, and I know it's going to trigger a lot of people because there's a lot of people who do them and believe in them, and they'll try and pull out all this science on keto diets and all this stuff. It's bullshit, okay? Science can prove whatever it wants and however we manipulate the science. But if you get back to nature, get back to our body, steer into how the body works, you know what the body needs, and it's just whole foods, okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with eating packaged foods. We have the luxury now that there are a lot of quite healthy packaged foods that we have available to us. I mean, you can get amazing like protein bowls from supermarkets and stuff like that. But generally speaking, if it's had a heap of processing done to it, it's not going to be beneficial for your health in the long run. Yes, you can go on these high protein diets and potentially lose a bit of weight in the short term. I get that. But it's not going to keep the weight off in the long run. It's going to create disease in your body in the long term. And that's something that I'm really, really passionate about. So if anyone's got any questions about that, please yell out and please ask, okay? So, to recap, I think I've taken enough of your time, but I hope it's been beneficial and I hope what I'm saying is making sense. It sounds like Haley's losing her shit in the background. First most important thing, your mindset is the most important thing and it will trump everything you do. So you can go on a weight loss program that is proven 100% scientifically backed. People will do it, people lose weight, but if your mindset says, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy of having a slender body, I don't believe I can do this, it might work for a certain amount of time, but it's not going to work in the long run. You're going to finish the diet, you're going to put the weight back on, or you're just not even going to get results, or you're not going to be able to commit to it and you're going to fall off the wagon before that goes through. Start listening to Dr. Joe Dispenza on YouTube. Absolutely incredible, and he'll explain the science behind how our thoughts create our reality. He's written books that you can listen to as well, okay? Second thing was coffee enemas and enemas in general. What's going on there? Are you resistant to them? Why do they freak you out? Why are they so gross? Are you willing to make a change in order to make a change in your body, okay? If your beliefs are serving you, you wouldn't be sitting here right now going, I wish I could lose 5 kilos, or I wish I could lose 10 kilos, or I wish I could feel better, okay? If you're not happy with where your health is right now, you need to make a change. So look at what's going on. Third thing is, what's your attitude to exercise? What's your energy behind exercise? Do you do it because you love it and it makes you feel good? Or are you doing it to punish your body or to because you feel guilty because of what you've eaten, okay? And the fourth and final thing was the nutritional key elements that we should be living our life by. Drinking 2 to 3 litres of water, of filtered water a day, non-negotiable. If you don't have a good quality filter in your house and you drink town water, you must save money and invest in something. It's a non-negotiable, okay? Toxins cause disease. Number one thing, number one driver of disease. So if you're drinking toxins every single day, fluoride, chlorine, all the other crap they put in our water, it's not good for you in the long run, okay? Thirdly, fast. See if your body can fast till at least 9 a.m., 10 a.m., depending on what time you wake up. Your body is supposed to be able to fast for 3 or 4 hours before you wake up. If you wake up starving, your calorie intake the day before is all out of whack, you've got issues with your blood sugar, you've got issues with your liver, okay? And then the fourth one was just stay away from diet food, okay? Just don't go there. So guys, I need to put Haley to bed. Yeah? I hope that you've got lots of value out of this. I hope it's been really beneficial. I hope you've got some key takeaways. I would love some comments. I would love some questions. I'm happy to answer all of these tomorrow. I would love you to share any potential light bulbs that you got out of this, any new things you've learned. I would love you to tag friends into this group. I would love you to share this training with anyone. This is a private group, so you won't be able to see this training unless you're in this group. This is also a female-only group. But I will, if you're on my email list, I will be downloading this training and popping it on Vimeo, so I'll be sending out a copy to the link. So if you want a copy of it, please, please, please just message me, send me a message. I'm here to help, guys. I'm here to inspire you guys and help you. I love you all loads, and I don't want anyone to suffer the way I did that 10, 15 years of just that horrible, horrible, horrible energy around food, and it's really destructive attitude. So big love. It's time to say goodnight, and I will talk to you all soon.